Hello everyone. In this session, let us understand how to iterate over an array by using an enhanced modified for loop. This particular for loop can also be used to iterate over lists like array list, linked list, etc., which we will see it in future. For now, let us understand this concept by taking a simple example. Let us create a program to add table of any given number to an array. So let's create a table and add the table of that number to an array, and then let us create this enhanced for loop to display all the contents of that array. So let's create a scanner, and then we can ask user to enter a number and get that number. So let's create a scanner S1, and we need to import the scanner from java.util package, and then let's put a message to the user saying please enter a number. And let us accept that number into, say, num1. So num1 is equal to s1 dot next int, and also let us create an array. So int array, let's call it as arr is equal to new int, and let us say it holds 10 values. So the length of the array is 10. Now let's create a for loop to create the table. So I is equal to 1 and I less than or equal to 10 and I plus plus. So this for loop will iterate for 10 times, and that will generate the 10 numbers of the table of that particular number. So let's do one thing. Let's create and add the numbers to the array at the same time. So let us do something like I minus 1. So we are starting I from 1 here, but array starts from 0, so I'm just deducting 1 from that. So whatever first number is generated for the table, that will go in the first slot, first element of array, that is at the 0th index, and the number will be num1 into I. So as simple as that. This particular for loop will generate the table of this particular number, and then at the same time it will add it to the elements of the array as well. So this is the conventional for loop that we can use to do both the things, to generate the number like table of any number and then add those numbers to the arrays. Like for the second iteration, I is equal to 2, so let us say num is 2, so 2 into 2 is 4, and that 4 will get added to the 2 minus 1, that is 1th index of the array, that is the second value or second element of the array. Now let's create this enhanced for loop to iterate over an array. So it is very easy. You just say that for each integer in the collection of integers. The way the modified for loop works is we will look at the collection, and then we'll look at the data type that particular collection holds. So in this case, this arr array holds all the integers. So what we'll say is for every integer in the collection of integers. So let us say if we call that every integer as something like n, so we'll say that for every integer n from the collection of integers, that is arr. What it will do, it will iterate until all those integer n's are exhausted from this collection, from the first integer to the last integer. So for every int n, let us say n, you can give it any name. So for every int n in the collection of all these integers, and then if you just display the value of n, you will see all these values which are part of this particular array. Now when you display the output, I just want to put this dotted line in between so it gives us a better visual. So let's take a look at this program first, and then we'll run it. We are creating a scanner, and then we are asking user to enter a number. Whatever number user is going to enter, we are going to take it into num1. Then we are creating an array, and it is going to have 10 slots. The length of array is 10. Now in this first conventional for loop, we are creating the table of that number and simultaneously adding those numbers to the array as well. And then in the second for loop, in the modified for loop, we are quickly iterating over the array to get the elements in that array. Now let us say this array is of strings. Then the for loop will be for every string x in the collection of strings. Okay, for every character whatever in the collection of characters. So in that case, we no need to worry about what is the number of elements in that collection and all that. When you do this kind of for loops, the loop will take care of iterating from the first element to the last element of that collection. And for every iteration the value of n will change. For the first iteration it will take the first value, for the second iteration it will take the second value, whatever is the value in that collection, and it will keep on doing it until either you break the loop or the iterations are, or the elements are exhausted. Okay, as simple as that. Let's run this program. Please enter a number, let us say 10, and here is the table of 10 from the array. Let's run it again. Let us say the number is 31, and this is the table of 31 from the array. Okay, so this is the modified for loop. You call it as modified or special or enhanced for loop, and this is very handy, very useful to iterate over any collection very quickly. As I said in the beginning, you can use it to iterate over an array or an array list or linked list, which we'll see it in the next few sessions. Thank you.